Good day everyone, we are the Group 6, and the region we're going to tackle today is the Region 11 and 12, the Davao region and the Sac-Sargent region. So let's get started. For the Region 11, the Davao del Sur. The major industry of Davao del Sur is the agriculture and the agribusiness. The province is primarily an agricultural area, and with its economy heavily dependent on the cultivation of cash crops. The principal crops is the rice, corn, coconut, abaca, and meron na variety of fruits like mango, coffee bean, and mga root crops. Then the leading producer is the Davao del Sur, is noted as the leading producer of abaca fiber in the Davao region. Then let's talk about the attraction. Historical attraction is the Davao del Sur provincial capital. It is located in Digo City. The center of government in Davao del Sur. This historical building represent the province's political and administrative history. It often serves as a venue for major local events and celebration. The next is the Santa Cruz Church. Located naman siya sa Santa Cruz, Davao del Sur. Isa ito sa pinaka old church sa province ng Davao del Sur. And sinisimbolize niya yung pag-spread ng Christianity and sa southern Mindanao. Then, last for the historical attraction is the Battle of Digos Memorial. Located ito sa Digos City. Ito naman ay historical marker honoring the lives lost during the World War II and mga other local battles. Nire-reflect nito yung province resilience and the patriotism. The next is the natural attraction. This natural attraction is famous to. Ito yung Mount Apo dahil ito yung kilala ito sa siya yung pinaka highest or pinakamataas na bundok dito sa Pilipinas na may taas na 2,954 meters above sea levels. Located naman to between sa Davao del Sur and North Cotabato. Then it is a UNESCO heritage site candidate known for its biodiversity and as a sacred mountain to local tribes. The next is the Tudaya Falls sa Santa Cruz, Davao del Sur naman to nakalocate. Isa ito sa pinaka mataas na waterfall sa Mindanao, and ito naman is parang cascading from the slope of Mount Apo. Then popular siya for the leisure. Pwede rin siyang mag-trek, pwede siya sa mga hikers yan, sa mga nature lovers. Then next is the Sibulan River. Located naman ito sa Santa Cruz, Davao del Sur. Isa siyang pristine river, which is malinis ito, then originating from Mount Apo's watershed. Nagpo-provide ito ng hydroelectric power and nagsaserve ito ng source para sa irrigation and recreation. Then next is the man-made attraction. Camp Sabros, located dito sa Kapatagan, Digo City. Isa siyang mountain resort. Famous siya sa pagiging mountain resort niya, and also famous din siya dahil malamig yung klima dito dahil nasa taas to. Hindi naman sobrang taas, ganun. Banda siya sa mga bundok-bundok, ganun. Then pwede kang mag-zipline dito, isa yun sa activities nila. And also makikita mo yung scenic view of the Mount Apo. It is a top adventure destination sa province ng Digo City. Jardín de Señorita Mountain Resort, located naman to sa Davao del Sur Highlands. It is a flower garden and set in the highlands of Davao del Sur. Fini-feature na ito yung mga beautiful landscape, mountain views, and leisure spot for the relaxation and picture the photography. Then, next is the Davao Riverfront Crocodile Park and Zoo. Ito naman located siya sa Davao City. It is a well-known wildlife conservation park featuring mga crocodiles, mga other exotic animals, mga pinagawa siya for educational tour na nagpo-promote ng environmental awareness and wildlife protection para sa mga animals. Then, let's talk about the Davao del Sur food and delicacies. Isa sa parang version ito ng adobo and caldereta. So, tinatawag itong calderobo. This version of adobo is one of the unique and must-try Davao delicacies that should be on your bucket list. And it's a Davao style adobo, but instead of pork, they're using dishes made with premium beef that is soft and tender. Kaya parang naging siyang caldereta at adobo because ginagamitan ito ng liver, coconut milk, peanut butter, then minamarinate siya sa soy sauce and sa vinegar. Okay, so next is the sinuglaw food. Ito naman is para siyang dinakdakan or sisig, ganun yung itsura niya. Pero hindi ko pa siya titikman. A signature Davao specialty that is a combination of sinugba. Sinugba means grilled pork belly and kinilaw means raw fish ceviche. The smoky grilled meat perfectly balanced the tangy fresh fish. Then last for the food and delicacies is the lechon buaya. Delicacy for the adventurous, this is a roasted crocodile meat prepared similarly to sa tradition na lechon natin, which is yung roast pig, lechon baboy. It is typically served in a specific buffet restaurant and during special occasions. Ito naman yung mga sineselebrate ng mga festival dito sa Davao del Sur. Una na dito ay ang Kadayawan Festival na sineselebrate dito sa Davao City, and annually sineselebrate din every third week of August. So, sineselebrate ito because this is the most famous and the grandest festival in the entire Davao region. It is a festival of thanksgiving for a bountiful harvest and a celebration of the city rich cultural diversity. Then next is the Araw ng Davao del Sur. Sineselebrate naman ito annually din on July 1st. Then, kaya ito sineselebrate is this is the founding anniversary of the province of Davao del Sur itself. The celebration typically runs for a week and is anchored by the provincial government and its capital, Lico City. Then last is the Bansaulog Festival. Sa Bansa naman to located. Sineselebrate to around September. This festival celebration the town's founding anniversary and the highlights its strong agricultural industry. Sineselebrate nila yung dun sa agriculture nila. Often featuring a festive carabao or yung water buffalo parade. So for their accommodation naman, merong budget friendly, which is ito yung GV Hotel Davao, 672 pesos siya and 1 star siya. Then naman next is medyo maangat-angat na is yung Apo View Hotel. Nag-range naman yung price niya is 2,537 lang standing. Relax hotel with pool and international restaurant siya kasama. Then yung medyo luxury ka na is the Dusit Tani Residence Davao. Ito naman is 6,356 pag nag-stay ka. Is lake high-end residence style hotel. Nag-offer din sila ng mga spa, gym, and meron din silang outdoor pool. So yung language and dialects na sinasalita nila sa Davao del Sur is pinaka-major is the Cebuano or Bisaya or Binisaya. Then Davaoenyo Cebuano or Davao Bisaya. Then syempre Filipino, Tagalog East. Then English. Then yung mga indigenous languages naman nila is Bilaan, spoken by the Bilaan people. Particularly sinasalita ito sa western and southern part of the province. Like sa Hagonoy Valley. Next is the Bagobo Tagabawa, the language of the Tagabawa tribe who primarily inhabit the foot of Mount Apo. Then, Manobo languages. Various subgroups of the Manobo people live in the province such as the Obo Manobo and the Ata Manobo. Each speaking distinct true-related language Kalagan or Kagan, spoken by the Kalagan people who live along the Davao, Gulf Coast and adjacent lowlands. Then, for the next province is the Davao Occidental province. So, yung major industry naman dito sa Davao Occidental is the aquaculture, which is this industry focuses on breeding and raising aquatic animals like inalagaan nila yung mga fish, seaweeds, mga shellfish like crabs, ganun. It provides livelihood to coastal communities, especially sa Jose Abad Santos and Sarangani. Then, agriculture din, a major source of income in the province where farmers cultivate coconut, banana, corn, rice, and root crops. It supports both local food supply and export production. Then, for the attraction is the Museo Malitanyo or Malita Museum. It is a museum that pinipreserve nito, makikita dito yung preserve nila na culture and history of Davao Occidental. Sinashowcase din dito yung art crafts, tribal crafts, and historical records of the province heritage. The next is the Santo Niño Shrine. Ito naman is a historic church and place of devotion sa mga deboto na dinededicate nila ito kay Santo Niño, symbolizing the faith and religious traditions of the people of Malita. Then next is the Marorong Fort Ruins. Ito yung mga guho ng tanggulan ng Marorong. Ito is the remains of an old Spanish fort in Jose Abad Santos, serving as a reminder of the province's colonial past and defense history. Then for the natural attraction, the Mount Latian. Ito yung scenic mountain known for its kilala siya sa lush greenery and breathtaking views. Pwede siya sa mga is ideal for trekking and adventure tourism. Then next is the Cablolan Falls, a hidden gem in the forest of Davao Occidental, featuring refreshing water surrounded by rich flora and fauna. So, nakatago siya sa mga gubat dun sa Davao Occidental. Then lastly, for the natural attraction is the Tukenonsud Cove, a beautiful white sand cove in Sarangani with clear turquoise water. Perfect for swimming, snorkeling, and island hopping. Then, for the man-made attraction, the Titus Paradise. It is a locally developed resort that offers swimming pool, of course, cottage, and scenic ocean views. Ideal relaxation spot for families and tourists. Then also, kabilang din sa man-made attraction ang San Miguel Coal Power Plant. Ito naman is a major industrial site in Malita that contributes to the region energy production and economic growth. Next is the Davao Occidental food and delicacies. Number 1 is the Imbao. Ito ay local clam soup, dish flavored with ginger and spices, highlighting the province's rich seafood resources. Then again, the Sinuglaw, parang famous din siya sa Davao Occidental, kagaya sa Davao del Sur. Yun nga, ang Sinuglaw ay combining a grilled pork or sinugba and raw fish in vinegar na kung tinatawag ay kinilaw, representing both land and sea flavors. Then last is the ginanggang. Ito ay beloved street food made of grilled banana brushed with margarine and sugar, enjoyed by local and visitor alike. So, ito naman yung mga sineselebrate ng festival sa Davao Occidental. Una ay ang Kabyaan Festival. Sa Malita naman ito, sineselebrate. Sineselebrate ito ang founding anniversary of Malita, featuring, of course, street dancing, cultural show, and agricultural exhibits. The next is the Ginaway Festival. Ito naman ay located sa Abad Santos. Promote peace, unity, and cultural pride among the tribe people, like Christian, Muslim, and Lumads of the municipality. Last for the festival is the Pangapog Festival. Sa Sarangani Island naman ito. A Thanksgiving celebration of the Sangir people for bounty harvest and blessing from the sea. Then for the accommodation, for the budget-friendly accommodation is the Star Hotel. Affordable siya. Affordable lodging with basic amenities for travelers on a budget. Then for the mid-range naman is the Hotel San Marco Davao. Comfortable accommodation, offering dining and standard leisure services at moderate prices. For the high-end naman, mga luxury na, is the Paradiso Davao Beachfront Hotel and Resort. A luxurious resort by the beach featuring elegant rooms, fine dining, and full-service amenities. Further, language or dialect, of course, sinasalta din nila dito yung Cebuano. Ito yung main spoken language nila sa pakikipag-usap sa araw-araw. And Filipino and English, widely used in education, government, and business. Taga-Kaulo, Madobo, Bilaan, Sangirise, Maguindanao. It is a indigenous language spoken by native groups, each with unique tradition and oral literature.
Its capital is Mati City. Major municipalities is Baganga, Banaybay, Boston, Caraga, Catil, Governor Generoso, Lupon, Manay, Mati City, and Tarragona. Its major industries is number 1, agriculture, the backbone of Davao Oriental's economy. The province is the top producer of coconut and copra in the Philippines. Farmers also grow abaca, banana, mango, and coffee, contributing to both locals and export markets. Number 2, fisheries and aquaculture. Coastal and inland fishing sustain many communities, providing abundant seafood like tuna, shrimps, and seaweeds. Number 3, ecotourism. Tourism focusing on natural beauty, marine sanctuaries, and cultural experience continues to grow as an emerging industries. Historical attractions in Davao Oriental. Sleeping Dinosaur. It is located in Mati City, a naturally shaped peninsula along Pujada Bay that resembles a sleeping dinosaur. It serves as a symbolic landmark of Mati and represents the province's strong tourism and heritage identity. Subangan Museum. It is located in Mati City too. The official provincial museum preserving Davao Oriental's history, culture, and national heritage features Davor, the world's largest sperm whale skeleton found along province's coast, ethnographic displays of Mandaya and other indigenous groups. Number 3, San Salvador del Mundo Church in Caraga. Built in 1884, one of the oldest stone churches in Mindanao, declared a national cultural treasure by the National Museum for its national and architectural significance. Natural attractions of Davao Oriental. Aliwag Falls. It is located in Catil, known as the Stairway to the Sky. This multi-tiered waterfall is among the tallest in the Philippines, surrounded by rainforests and part of Aliwagwag protected landscape. It is a top ecotourism site. Number 2, Dahican Beach. It is located in Mati City. Famous for its fine white sand and big surfing waves, a nesting site for sea turtles or pawikan, combining beauty and ecological importance. Number 3, Lake Carolina. It is located in Baganga, a tranquil lake fringed by forests, ideal for boating, fishing, and quiet retreats amidst nature. Next is man-made attractions in Davao Oriental. Number 1, cultural villages or Mandaya handicraft centers created to preserve and promote Mandaya culture, showcasing traditional Dagmay weaving crafts and community life. Number 2, municipal plazas and heritage parks. Central landmarks in many towns, often featuring monuments, gardens, and cultural markers representing local identity and heritage. Number 3 is Banaybay agro-industrial sites, planned industrial and economic zones that symbolize the province move towards agro-industrial progress and sustainable growth. Davao Oriental foods and delicacies. Pak fry or paksiw plus fry. A signature in Mati specialty made of tuna tail simmered in vinegar and spices, then fried to a crisp. Suman sa buko, a sweet sticky rice delicacy cooked with young coconut, commonly enjoyed as snack or pasalubong. Number 3 is kinilaw na isda, fresh fish cured in vinegar and calamansi with onion and chili, a popular coastal dish highlighting local seafood. Davao Oriental Festivals. Sambuokan Festival in Mati City. Celebrated every October, Sambuokan means Oneses in Mandaya. Features streets dancing, cultural parades, and trades fairs that showcase unity and Mandaya heritage. Number 2 is Mandaya Festival. It is located in Caraga. Held every July, honoring the Mandaya tribe's rich traditions through dances, weaving displays, and tribal rituals. Kalindungan Festivals. It is located in Baganga, celebrated in October to mark Baganga's founding anniversary, showcases street dancing and presentation of the town's history and livelihood. Languages and dialect in Davao Oriental. Number 1 is Cebuano or Bisaya, the most widely spoken language used in daily communication, school, and media. Number 2 is Mandaya language, spoken by the Mandaya indigenous people, known for its rich oral tradition, chants, and folklore. Number 3 is Tagalog or Filipino, commonly used for interregional communication and in education alongside English.
Good day everyone, my name is Aris Lingat and today I'm gonna tackle about Davao de Oro. First things first, what is Davao de Oro and how its name comes from its origin? Davao de Oro, or formerly known as Compostela Valley, is one of the most progressive provinces in the Davao region. It is blessed with rich natural resources, fertile lands, and hardworking people, making it a province with a strong and diverse economy. Here are some examples of the major industries of Davao de Oro. It includes mining, agriculture, and tourism. Each of it plays a vital role in the province development and livelihood of its people. The next thing is the Davao de Oro's historical attractions. We have here the Bilawa Hot Spring. The Bilawa Hot Spring is a natural hot spring located in Davao de Oro, known for its warm mineral-rich waters that are believed to have relaxing and healing properties. Surrounded by lush greenery, it is a popular spot for locals and tourists who want to unwind and enjoy nature. Second one is the Davao de Oro Landmark. The Davao de Oro Landmark refers to all well-known or important places in the province that represents its identity and culture. Next is the Davao de Oro's man-made attractions. We have the Defortes Nature Park, the Balite Hot Spring Resort, and the Canlawig Hot Spring Resort. At the Defortes Nature Park, it is a man-made attraction in Davao de Oro that features landscape, gardens, picnic areas, and recreation activities that you could use with your family. that you can visit and enjoy. At Baliti Hot Spring, we have this tourist destination that combines natural hot spring and waters with man-made facilities such as swimming pools, cottages, and function areas. The last thing is the Canlawig Hot Spring Resort. It is also a resort that was man-made and built around natural hot springs. It also have pools, cottages, and that are very ideal for relaxations or family gatherings. We have accommodations. We also have accommodations in Davao de Oro. We have in budget. And now let's talk about the accommodations in Davao de Oro. We have three types of accommodations. We have the budget, the mid-range, and the high-end. For the budget accommodation, we have the Havens Peak Highland Resort in Marabusan, Compostela Valley, which costs for almost 3,500 pesos. You could enjoy the relaxing resort that is very budget friendly for your family. For the mid-range, we have the Happy Days Resort Hotel Mabini. In this resort, it only costs 5,000 pesos to enjoy this kind of resort hotel here in Davao de Oro. For the high end, we have Dusit Tani Plantation Resort in Mabini, Davao de Oro. In this high-end resort, it costs 10,000 pesos and up because it consists of it is rated as 5-star luxury hotel here in Davao de Oro. Now let's talk about the Davao de Oro's foods and delicacies. For the foods, durian is well known here in Davao because durian-based products are food items made from durian fruit, often called the king of fruits. These include durian candy, ice cream jam, and pastries. For the second example, we have the chicken binakol. Chicken binakol is a traditional Filipino dish that is made out of chicken cooked in coconut water with vegetables and lemongrass. Also here in Durian, we have the famous pomelo, that it is a kind of large citrus fruit widely grown in Davao region, especially in Davao del Norte. In Davao de Oro, you could enjoy some kind of activities that is very famous here in Davao de Oro. We have the sky adventures, hiking, wild water adventures. This type of adventures that would really be enjoyed by the tourists and will surely making them come back and feel the same experiences and adventure. In Davao de Oro, we also have the Bulawan Festivals, the Kaimonan Festivals, and the Cariawan Festivals. In the Bulawan Festival, it is a founding anniversary celebration of Davao de Oro. In Kaimonan Festival, in Davao del Norte, to be specific, the Kaimonan Festival is celebrated in Davao as a thanksgiving for a bountiful harvest. For the Cariawan Festival, it is celebrated as the cultural event in Davao for the thanksgiving and rich traditions of its people. These are the languages or dialects that are being spoken in Davao de Oro. We have the Cebuano, the Mansaka, and the Kalagan. And that's the part of my Davao de Oro journey. I hope you enjoy, and I hope someday you will visit our very beloved province. Thank you and mabuhay.
North Cotabato sa Kalbangan. Tourism Local era before the arrival of Christian immigrants, the area now known as North Cotabato was invited by ethnic groups such as the Manobos, Bobobos, and Muslim. Spanish conquest. The Spanish established Fort in 1893, marking the conquest of the province from the Sultan of Maguindanao. Formation of North Cotabato on November 22, 1973. The original Cotabato province was divided into North Cotabato, Maguindanao, and Sultan Kudarat. The province was officially relieved Cotabato through legacy Latin Act in 1984. Ang North Cotabato ay original na tinitirahan ng mga grupong etniko tulad ng mga Manobo, Bobobo at mga Muslim. Bago dumating ng mga Kristiyanong migrante, sinakop ng mga Espanyol ang lugar mula sa Sultan ng Maguindanao noong 1893. sa pagtatag ng Port Pitik noong 1973. Ang original na lalawigan ng Cotabato ay natayi sa North Cotabato, Maguindanao at Sultan Kudarat. Official itong pinalitan ng pangalan ng Cotabato noong 1994. Historical attraction, North Cotabato. Port Pitik, a stone port built in 1893 during Spanish colonial period. Used later in American, Philippines, and Japanese periods, declared a national historical landmark. Bilang pagkilala sa makasaysayang halagaan ito, ang Port Pitik ay diniklara ng isang pambansang makasaysayang landmark sa Pilipinas. Pinapanatili ito bilang isang valuable link sa kolonyal at post-kolonyal na nakaraan sa ng bansa. Susunod na po ay Pamuntaka Church. The church was established by Jesus Prias as a part of the Pamuntaka mission, which focused on the youth as well as the evangelization of people in the Cotabato region. In the late 19th century, the original church structure was built in 1872 along the Pamuntaka River. Ang simbahan ng Pamuntaka ay isang makasaysayang struktura sa rehiyon ng Cotabato na itinatag ng mga Esbita noong huling bahagi ng ika-19 na siglo bilang bahagi ng Pamuntaka Mission. Ang mission ay may dalawang pangunahing layunin: tumutok sa kabataan at magpatupad ng evangelisasyon, pagpapalaganap ng Kristyanismo sa mga lokal na komunidad. Ang unang struktura ng simbahan ay tinayo noong 1872 na tatagpuan sa kabilang ilog ng Pamuntaka. Susunod po, Old Cotabato City Hall Museum. Built in 1936 under the leadership of the former Cotabato Mayor Selim, later built as Cotabato City Hall in 1960s, when the municipality of Cotabato is recognized as a city. Ang lumang Cotabato City Hall Museum ay isang makasaysayang estruktura na itinayo noong 1936 sa ilalim ng pamumuno ni dating alkalde o Selim. Noong unang panahon, hindi pa ito tinatawag na City Hall. Naging ganap ito Cotabato City Hall noong 1960s. Nang ang munisipalidad ng Cotabato ay kinilala bilang isang lungsod, ngayong ito ay ginagamit bilang isang museo na nagpapakita ng kasaysayan at pamana ng Cotabato. Susunod po, natural attraction ng Cotabato. Asikasik Fall is often called a hidden gem because of its remote location and the 600 step plus you need to take. To reach it, visitors love its clear water, scenic beauty, and the refreshing experience of swimming beneath the fall. Local also believes its water have healing properties. Ang Asikasik Fall ay kilala bilang isang hidden gem o nakatagong hiyas dahil sa kanyang malayong lokasyon at ang kailangan lampasan. Nagit 600 abang para maabot ito. Gustong-gusto ng mga bisita ang malamig at malinaw na tubig nito. Magandang tanawin at ang preskong karagsan ng paglalangoy sa ilalim ng talon. Ang mga lokal din ay naniniwala na ang tubig nito ay may kakunyariyang magpapagaling. Next naman po, Lake Venado. At the foot of Mount Apo, this is an endorphic lake. The outflow, known for its crystal clear water and high elevation. Ang lawa ng Bendo ay matatagpuan sa paanan ng bundok Apo, ang pinakamataas na bundok sa Pilipinas. Ito ay isang endorphic lake, ibig sabihin walang daluyan ng tubig. Ay daluyan na papalabas ng tubig nito papunta sa dagat o ibang lawa. Kilala ito sa malinaw na tubig na parang kristal at mataas na lokasyon. Sunod po, Motigol Falls and Cave. Motigol Falls, also called Danny Falls, is a 100-meter high waterfall in Arakan, North Cotabato. The cave beside it has several deers and natural pools, perfect for swimming. But reaching it is required a challenging. Trick toes, step, and slip permit trails. The site is still undeveloped, so visitors need to bring their own supplies and be extra careful when exploring. Ang Motigol Falls, kilala rin bilang Danny Falls, ay isang 100 na talon sa Arakan, North Cotabato na may kasamang kuweba. Mayroon itong ilang fantastic at natural na pool na perfecto para sa paglalangoy, ngunit kailangan lampasan ang hirap na paglalakad sa matarik at madulas na daan. Para maabot ito ang ay hindi pa paunlad, kaya kailangan magdala ang mga bisita sa sariling dilagamit at mas maingat kapag nag-explore. Ang susunod po ay North Cotabato, man-made attraction. The Grand Mosque of Cotabato. Ang Grand Mosque ng Cotabato ay isa sa pinakamalaking mosque sa bansa. Nasa Cotabato City ito. Ito ay para sa mga Muslim na nagsasamba, kayang tanggapin libo-libong tao. Maganda ito, puti ang kulay at may malaking tore. Ito rin ay mahalagang tanda ng kultura at reliyon ng mga Muslim doon. Ang susunod, Bartender Trade Center. Hindi ako nakahanap ng malinaw na impormasyon tungkol sa Bartender Trade Center sa Cotabato. Maaari itong maliit na lugar na hindi pakilala online o baka maling pangalan tulad ng Barter Trade Center. May isang kilalang pamilya doon kung tungkol ito sa pagsasali ng bartender o yun. Malamang maliit lang ito. Malamang maliit lang itong paaralan. Ang susunod po ay New Israel Eco Adventure Park. Ang New Israel Eco Adventure Park ay nasa malaking North Cotabato malapit sa bundok Apo. Kilala ito sa napakabang zipline sa Asia, 2.3 km. Na masaya at may magandang tanawin. Meron din dito unggoy, daanan para maglakad pwesto para mag-camping at makilala po ang lokal na mga tao. Maraming at presko dito. Perfecto para sa adventure at pagpapahinga. Ang next naman po, Cotabato Accommodation. Ang North Cotabato Accommodation po, murang budget, mga hotel at guest house ang pinakamurang tirahan sa Cotabato kung ikaw ay walang masyadong budget. Ang susunod po ay North Cotabato Delicacies. Ang una po ay Baya. Ang Baya ay matamis na kanin na gawa sa inayon na batang niyog, asukal at pinipig o mais. Inalo lahat ng pinatuyo, ibinalot sa dahon ng saging o pulang papel. Susunod po, grated coconut. Susunod po ay tinagatag. Ang tinagatag ay matamis na merienda ng mga Maguindanao sa Cotabato. Gawa ito sa hiniwang bigas, asukal at tubig na ginawang malapot. Ibinubuo sa mainit ng makina gamit ang pangulayan. Bungang niyog na may butas para gumawa ng mga tali na hibla na nagiging sapot. Pinipirito habang kulay ginto at malutong tapos ibinabaluktot. Ito pa mas simple pa. Ang sunod po ay North Cotabato Festival. Kalibugan Festival. Ang Kalibugan Festival ay tawang pangdiriwang sa North Cotabato na nangangahulugang pagsasama-sama. Ginaganap tuwing unang araw ng September. Tumatagal ng isang linggo. Dito nagtitipon ng mga katutubo, Muslim at Kristiyano para ipakita ang kanilang sayaw, awit, gamit at pagkain. Mayroon din palaro at palengke ng produkto ng probinsya. Layunin nito ay ipagdiwang ang pagkakaisa, kultura at kasaganaan ng Cotabato. Ang susunod naman po ay Timpuco Festival. Timpuco Fruit Festival. Ang Timpuco Fruit Festival ay taunang pagdiriwang sa Kidapawan City, North Cotabato tuwing Agosto kasabay ng araw ng lungsod. Timpuco ay nangangulugan ani. Susunod po, Bulawan Festival. Ang Bulawan Festival ay pinapakita ang kultura, maraming ani at pagmimina. May prosesyon ng float, sayawan, palaro, palengke ng produkto at basa ang alas. May ginto. Ginaganap ito sa Labunturan ang kabisera ng probinsya. Susunod po ay agricultural and industrial activities. Yung Nature Adventures, Trek to Asik, Fall in Alamada, hike around Bang Tapo, Foothills, Power Swim in Lake Agcos, Hot and Cold Spring, calving and watercourse, exploration, visit Matigold Valley, Fall and Keep in Arakan or explore to natural pools and cascades in Magpet. Cultural experience, join festival like Kalibugan, Timpuco Fruit Festival and Bulawan Festival, where you can see street dancing, parades and cultural show. North Cotabato Videos industry are heavy focus or agricultural processing significant amount of rice, corn, bananas, coconuts, rubber, and tropical fruits. The primary language spoken in North Cotabato are Ilagayon, Cebuano, and Maguindanao. The primary language spoken in North Cotabato are Iligayon, Cebuano, and Maguindanao. Pangunahing aktibidad sa agrikultura at industriya ng North Cotabato: pagsasaka, gumagawa ng palay, mais, tubo, prutas, durian, mangustin at goma, langis ng niyog. May malaking pabrika sa Carmen para gawing langis ang niyog ng maliit na magsasaka. Bigas, may mga pasilidad na gumagawa ng mas magandang bigas at dinabawasan ang pagkawala nito. Tulong ng gobyerno, binibigay ng gamitan, bighi at pera ang mga magsasaka para mabubuti ang buhay. Next naman po ay ang Sarangani Major Industry. The major industry in Sarangani are centered on its significant agriculture and fisheries production with major product including tuna, bananas, coconuts, and mangoes. The province is also a hub for coconut processing, and its economy is supported by aquaculture and related boat-making industry and product fisheries and aquaculture. Sarangani is known as the tuna capital of the Philippines, with extensive fishing operation and related industry like boat-making, coconut industry. The province is a major producer of okra, dried coconut meat, and initiative like Margil Coco Grow project are revitalizing the coconut industry by planting new seedling and introducing new varieties according to Margil mango and banana plantations. Sarangani is a growing source of mangoes with large-scale platinum, and it also has significant banana cultivation with companies like Dole Philippines operating their agribusiness and processing beyond raw agriculture products. Sarangani is home to integrated coconut fiber process and companies involved in fish and fruit product. The province is major producer of pork-dried coconut meat. Integrated coconut fiber process and company involved in fish and fruit production. Industry. Ang Sarangani ay kilala sa pagsasaka at pangingisda. Ilan sa mga pangunahing produkto nito ay tuna, saging, niyog at mangga. Pangingisda at aquaculture. Tinatawag ang Sarangani na tuna capital of the Philippines dahil sa daming ng tuna na nahuli at mga kaugnayan ng industriya tulad ng paggawa ng bangka. Industriya ng niyog. Malaking tagagawa ng opera o yung laman ng niyog ang Sarangani. At may mga proyekto para sa mas maraming tanim ng niyog at mas mataas na mango at saging. May malaking plantasyon ng mangga at saging at dito rin nag-ooperate ang mga kumpanya tulad ng Dole Philippines. Agribusiness at processing. Bukod sa silaw na produkto, may mga kumpanya rin na gumagawa ng coconut fiber at nagpuproseso ng isda at prutas. Ang susunod po ay ang Sarangani Historical Attraction. Maitom. Ang Maitom ay isang bayan ng Sarangani, Mindanao na kilala sa magandang tanawin, mayamang kultura at makasaysayang palawak ng hugis tao. Ang susunod po ay ang Mabal Tabi. Ang Mabal Tabi ay mahalaga sa kultura ng Balaan. Ito ay higit pa sa gamit simbolo rin ito ng katayuan, galing at koneksyon sa ninuno. At ilang biyasang mga habi lang ang nakakapangalaga ng kaalaman nito sa loob ng maraming henerasyon. Ang susunod naman po ay ang Japanese Tunnel. Ang Japanese Tunnel ay isang lugar na ginagawa ng mga Hapon noong panahon ng digmaan, World War II. Sa Pilipinas, ginamit ito bilang taguan lugar ng kampo o daanan ng mga sundalong Hapon. Susunod lang po natin ang talakayan ng natural attraction ng Sarangani. Gumasa Beach. Ang Gumasa Beach ay isang sikat na dalampasigan sa Sarangani, kilala sa malinis na puting buhangin at malinaw na tubig. Madalas itong puntahan ng mga tao para sa paglangoy, paglalaro sa buwan at pagpapahinga. Susunod naman po ay whitewater tubing. Ang whitewater tubing ay isang aktibidad sa tubig kung saan sumasakay ka sa mga inflatable tube at tinayan ng malakas na agos ang ilog, dadalhin ka pababa. Ang susunod po ay Pawikan Sanctuary. Ang Pawikan Sanctuary sa Maitom ay isang lugar kung saan inaalagaan at pinoprotektahan ng pawikan. Dito binabantayan ng kanilang mga itlog at tinutulungan ng mga bilib ang mga batang pawikan na makarating sa dagat ng ligtas. Susunod po ay ang man-made attraction ng Sarangani. General Santos City Fish Port Complex. Ang General Santos Fish Port Complex ay isang malaking pantalan para sa pangingisda sa General Santos City. Dito dinadala ang mga nahuling isda, lalo na ang tuna, para ibenta o proseso. May mga pasilidad din para sa mga mangingisda at negosyo sa isda. Ang susunod ko ay the Lamlipio School of Living Tradition. Ang Lamlipio School of Living Tradition ay isang paaralan o sentro kung saan itinuturo at pinapangalanan ang kultura ng tradisyon ng mga katutubo, lalo na ang sining musika, sayaw at iba pang kaugalian. Ang susunod po ay KCC Mall. Ang KCC Mall ay nagsimula noong 1947 bilang maliit na tindahan sa Coronadal City. Lumagaw ito at naging supermarket at department store noong 1989. Noong 1992, nagbukas ng branch sa General Santos City, na kalaunan ay naging KCC Mall of Jensen. Ngayon may mga branches na rin ito sa iba pang lungsod sa Mindanao. Susunod po ay ang accommodation ng Sarangani. Sa Sarangani may tatlong klase ng matutuluyan. Budget 1,000 to 2,000 kada gabi. Basic na kwarto para sa mga nagtitipid. Mid-range mga 5,000 kada gabi, mas komportable at mas maaring pasilidad. Ayan, 6,000 to 15,000 per as. Kada gabi may luxury amenities at personalized na servisyo. Susunod po ay ang Sarangani Middle East. Una po yung dodol. Ang dodol ay isang matamis na at malagkit na kanin. Gagawa sa malagkit na bigas, gatas ng niyog at asukal. Karaniwang ito kulay kay manggi at may chevy na texture. Madalas ito kainin bilang pamimagas o pamasko sa mga special na okasyon. Susunod naman po ang buko halwalo. Ang buko halwalo ay isang malamig at matamis na pamimagas na may buko, yelo, gatas at iba pang sangkapan na karaniwang kinakain para magpalamig sa init. Next naman po ay bibingka. Ang bibingka ay isang tradisyonal na matamis na kakanin sa Pilipinas na gawa sa malagkit na bigas at gata ng niyog. Kadalasang kinakain tuwing Pasko. Ang susunod po ay ang Sarangani Festival. Ang una po ay Munato Festival, Alamel. Ang Munato Festival ay isang pagdiriwang sa Maitong Sarangani para pasasalamatan ang masaganang at ipinapakita ng pangkultura at tradisyon ng komunidad. Next naman po ay Lemlunay Festival, Maasin. Ang Lemlunay Festival sa Maasin, Maitom ay isang pagdiriwang ng kultura at tradisyon ng mga bilaan sa barangay Maasin. Layo din itong ipreserba ang pamana ng mga ninuno, ipakita ang kanilang sining, sayaw, musika at tradisyon at tradisyonal na kasuotan. Susunod na po ay Kawayan Festival. Ang Kawayan Festival sa Maitom ay pagdiriwang para ipakita ang kasaganaan ng kultura at tradisyon ng Maitom at gamit ang kawayan bilang simbolo. Ang language delegates naman po ng Sarangani. Languages in Sarangani, Cebuano, the most widely spoken language in the province, used by the majority of household. Maguindanao is spoken by people in municipalities such as Malapatan, Maitum, and Maasin. Tiboli resides mostly in Maitum, Kiamba, and Maasin. Sa Sarangani may katutubong wika tulad ng Tiboli at Maguindanao. Bukod sa pangunahing wika na Cebuano at ginagamit din ang Tagalog at English.